We put this video together based on questions from our customers. The video is broken into the following parts. I have included the timestamps so you can jump ahead if you want to. Here are the sections of this video. Number 1. How to quickly remove a MR16 bulb from a fixture where it is hard to get at. Number 2. How to use a voltage meter to test your landscape lighting transformer. Number 3. A hack on how to test for voltage in a landscape wire without cutting it. Number 4. How to attach the feed wire to your landscape transformer and what to do with the far end. Number 5. What to do if none of your outdoor landscape lights are working. Number 6. How and when to use the 15-volt tap or a multi-tap transformer. This is our most common and versatile outdoor spotlight. It's our high-impact composite fixture. And we've had a number of questions regarding the light bulb, so I'm going to get right into this. So open the light fixture. Now be aware when you open this up, there's a lens here inside that's going to want to fall. Don't let it fall out and hit the concrete. It'll probably shatter. See it right there? So make sure that doesn't happen to you. Now the complaint is that you can't get your fingers around the light bulb to get it out. You might have an old halogen in here or an LED, but the MR16s fit very snug, which is really good because the vibration doesn't knock the light bulb loose. So here's what we did. We got a vice grips and a screwdriver, and we took the vice grips and to the front of the screwdriver and we bent it over. You can see it's 90 degrees or roughly thereabouts. It makes a little hook. Just a cheap screwdriver we got at the really cheap tool place. That's all we did, and we actually use this for all kinds of things. So let me show you how it works. All you're going to do is take the screwdriver, put it under the rim of the bulb, just right under there, and pull on it. That's it. Light bulb comes right out, right in your hand. So that's all that's to it. It just makes things quick and simple and easy. And the little MR16 bulb pops right out. To get the little pins back down inside the light fixture on your light bulb, line up the pin holes down here, line up the pins on the bulb, and what you do is you just kind of set it in there. You'll see them line up, and then take it and press it in with your fingers, and it snaps in place and is held by the rim. That's really all you need to do. It takes a little practice, but you'll get it. In this section, how to use a voltage meter to test your landscape lighting transformer, we're going to show you how to do it step by step. Now we got this little tiny voltage meter. It's not a voltage tester. It's actually a voltage meter. We got it at Ace Hardware. It cost $19. I had a coupon. It ended up costing me $12. Brought it home, took it out of the package, unscrewed the back, put a battery in it. Doesn't come with a battery. So it's really important though, voltage meter. Voltage tester is not going to help us much. So make sure you know the difference. A voltage meter actually has the scale on it. A voltage tester just tells you if there's power there, and that's just not going to be enough for us. Right now the unit's set it off. On this side it says DC volts. On this side it says DC. Down here it says AC volts. Got my leads plugged in here. We're going to be testing AC volts. 90% of all landscape lighting is AC. There's a few out there that's DC, you might want to check, but very few. And most of the DC landscape lighting systems have failed in the market. So if you have one, well, I'm sorry. And if you have one, you can still test it with this meter. Well, I'm testing 12 volts. I'm going to have to be on the 50 scale. So I've moved it to 50. And if you look inside the little window, it says 10 scale, 50 scale, 150 scale, and the 250 scale. We're going to be on the 50 scale, and we're going to measure our 12 volts or thereabouts on this scale to make sure that we have power coming out of our transformer. Let's do it right now. I wanted to show you this little transformer first. It's a little 45 watt transformer. It's made to be set up outside, not in a garage. And we're going to test it. And these numbers down here may be looking like they're flashing, but they're not. It's just the video not syncing with the LEDs. So don't worry. So right now, I have the dial set to off. I'm going to turn it to on. You can actually hear a little relay on the inside jump. So the transformer says it's on, but let's find out for sure. I'm going to close the door. I'm going to turn it over. And on the back is where you bring in your feed wires going to your light fixtures. Now, they're not labeled common or hot or any of that because there's two of them. They're 12 volts. We're using AC voltage, so your probes doesn't matter which side they're on because this is AC volts. Now I'm going to see if I can hold my meter and do the probes so you can see the meter move without reflection and glare. So here's the meter next to it, and I put this on, and it's registering 12 volts. As simple as that. Now I know that this transformer is good. I know that for sure. We do get a lot of people who say, hey, my transformer is not working. Well, actually, it's something else that's not working. And of course, we're going to cover that in the next videos. This is our larger transformer. This is slightly more commercial, but it tests the same way. Now this transformer is set up with COM, 12 volt and 15 volt. COM is common. So you're going to always have two wires coming in from your landscape lighting system, and here they are here. And in this transformer, I've hooked it up, the two wires to common and one to 12 volts. If I was using the 15 volt, which is the higher voltage, I'd be hooking up to common and 15 volt. We're going to get more into that a little bit later. Also, I set my timer here, and I could hear it click on to turn the transformer on. I could actually hear it inside. Well, hearing it inside is good, but do we really have power? So here's the voltage meter again, taking the probes, putting one on common and one on the 12 volt right next to it. Let's see if I can get that balanced and get my hand out of the way for you. So you can see there that I have 12 volts. You can see it right there on the meter. So I'm going to take the probes here, I'm going to put one on common and one over here on 15, and you can see the needle jumps up to 15 volts. That's as simple as it is to test your transformer with a voltage meter. And we're going to get a little bit more into this later, a little bit more advanced. But the first thing you always want to know is, does my transformer work? And if you set your dial up here, and I'm going to set it here to turn off the transformer, I'll hear it click on the inside. So I set it so that it would go off like it was, the middle of the day, taking my probes back in here. And you can see that there's no voltage registering on my little meter. Let's summarize real quick. Make sure you've plugged your transformer into an active working socket. Make sure the transformer's on. Remove the feed wire so you can isolate the transformer from your lighting system. Make sure the photocell is removed or covered. Set your meter to 12 volts AC. Make sure not to let the probes touch each other or you will get a short. Let's move to the next section. This is our section 3 of this video. It shows how you can quick check for voltage in a landscape wire. Never do this with a full line voltage of 120 volts. You will get shocked. If you're not comfortable, show this video to your electrician. It's always a good idea to have a qualified electrician around power. A good investment for sure. Here's a little demonstration I promised you, a little trick that you can use in the field. Now I've laid it out here on my workbench so you can see everything as best we can. So what this is this is the wire that comes from the connector and goes to your light fixture. Okay, this is the little 2-wire. This one's 18 gauge, and it's going from the power, which is over on this side, to your light fixture, which is up the road here. So how do I know there's actually power in that wire going to the light fixture? A lot of people contact us and say our light fixture is burnt out. Well, when it isn't burnt out, there's another problem somewhere else. It's not getting power. So it could be back at the connector level. It could be the transformer. Could be some variables. So we got to test it to see what the variables are. Well, you don't want to cut the wire to see if it's working, if there's power there. But there's a trick. Go back in the house and get a straight pin. Actually get 2 of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the straight pin and we're going to push it through the insulation of the wire into the copper that's on the inside. Just push it through. Okay, you can actually go all the way through if you want. So I pushed it in there so it's sticking out. I made sure that I only pushed it on one side because we need to get the other side. And I'm not going to take the pin and put them right next to each other. That would be bad if they touch. You'll get a short. I'm going to move the pin down the road here a little bit, and I'm going to push this pin into the rubber. And it's okay because when you pull the pin out, the rubber is going to close back up. So there's the pin in the second spot. So now I have my 12 volt wire with 2 pins sticking out. Now all I got to do is get my voltage meter and put the probes on and see if I got power. So I'm actually getting 13 volts coming out of that transformer, which is fine. We're within range. There it is right there. So this is a way to test your wiring to see if power is running through without cutting anything. Now you can just take the straight pins out, just 1, 2, and move it to somewhere else. So it's an easy fix. And a lot of people don't know how to do this, but you saw how simple it is. Now, of course, you have to set your voltage meter for 12 volts AC, not 12 volts DC. Very few landscape lighting systems are DC, very, very few. And if you don't have voltage here, then back towards the transformer could be the connector, which we talked about just a few minutes ago. Could be the transformer, but there's something down that way that's not working. It's not your light fixture at this end. This is section 4 of our video where we're going to look at connecting to the transformers and the landscape lighting wire itself. So we're going to get right to it. Most likely the wire came to you looking something like this, and the wire's spooled and then coiled and then just put in its raw form and shipped to you. And if you buy it from another source, you'll probably get it somewhat the same way. Unless you're buying a lot of it, it'll come on a spool. So the ends of the wire are simply, they've been cut with something that looks like this. Just cut straight off. And obviously this won't work inside your transformer. So what we do here is, let me clear a little spot so you can see. I just take a razor knife and God, almost anything will work. And you're going to want to split the wire like this. There's actually 2 leads. This is a 12 volt AC system, so we have 2 leads, and it doesn't matter which one goes where in the transformer. So there's no correct left or right or anything like that. It's not DC wire system, it's AC. So I have a handy wire stripper we use here in the shop all the time, but any wire stripper should work just fine. So pull them out a little bit so you can get some room to work, and put them in your stripper. Landscape wire doesn't usually go by the gauges listed on it. It usually has a thicker rubber outer section. So here I've stripped it back. I've taken my hands, I've twisted the wire really good so it doesn't fray when we put it inside the transformers. So this is the side that's going to go in the transformer. In this little example here, this little low voltage digital transformer, there's just 2 screws in the back, and you're going to loosen the screws and put the wire here underneath the screw, just like so, and tighten it down. Do not put both wires on this side. Just put 1 wire. Now you can see there's some room down here. So you could actually be running out in 2 different directions. And we get this question all the time, can I run more than 1 direction off my transformer? Yes, you can. You have room here for that. The only thing is you don't want to overload the transformer, but that's not going to be a big issue with LED. So yes, you can go out 2 different directions with your wire, keeping your wire length shorter and not running it all over the place. So that's the feed end at the transformer. Now the other end of the wire, it also comes cut, and what you don't want is you don't want the copper inside this wire ever to touch, and it's not right now, but if it gets wet, a water droplet could make it touch. So there's a few options on what to do here, and it's going to be up to you. And if you're not comfortable working with this, you know, an experienced handyman or an electrician, they do this stuff all the time. They can help you. So you can just take this wire, maybe take some electrical tape, tape it around here real tight and squeeze it off. That just stops the moisture from somehow connecting these 2 things together. Another thing you might use is some silicone-filled wire nuts. Now, if you're ordering a kit from us, you're probably going to end up with a bunch of these left over because they come with the light fixtures and we don't always use them. We use our blue connector to make the light fixtures connect to the cord, and we have a whole video on that, so that's an option. But little silicone filled wire nuts, just screw them on the end here. You don't strip anything, just screw them on the end. The silicone will seal up the ends of your wire and you'll be done with that. We do get a lot of questions about the wire. They go, well, I ordered 160 feet but I really only need 150. Can I cut the wire? Yeah, you can cut the wire anywhere you want. You can use multiple lead outputs as we showed you, and it's just not a big deal. Let's take a look at the transformers, because we do get this question a lot about where do I connect my wire? There's no instructions. So here's a little transformer that we have. It's a little simple digital one, very inexpensive. We showed you a minute ago where the wire goes in, and again, these are just going to go right here between underneath these screws, and just tighten them down. Make sure they're a little snug. Don't crank it down, but snug. Well, now our bigger, more leaning towards our more commercial heavy-duty transformers, they come like this, and you have to undo these screws here on the sides and loosen the cover. And inside the cover are instructions on setting the timer. This is a manual timer. We like it over the electronic timers because failure rate is less. It's just simple. It's simple analog transformer. And you can see down here where I brought the wires in, And these are bigger lugs. And they came in through a knockout, which I took a screwdriver and a hammer and just kind of tapped it, opened the knockout out, and plied it off with a pair of pliers. And I brought my wires in and I connect them under the lugs. And you'll find there's a lot of room under these lugs. And yes, you can bring in a second set of wires and connect them in there. Lugs are also labeled on the bigger transformers, and I'm pull the wire out of the way. And you can see here down inside where it says common 12 volt, 15 volt. We're only going to use that 15 volt in very rare applications. And we have another section of this very same video towards the end where we're going to talk about that. Today we're just talking about where do I land my feed wire, and we just wanted you to see where that goes. So that is the more heavy duty, more commercial transformer, and we're going more and more this direction because they're just more reliable. They last almost forever. I have one in my yard. It's 15 years old. Now this is the big commercial transformer. And you'll see in here it has a whole bunch of different tap voltages, and your wire is going to come in. It's the same landscape wire. Break out one of the knockouts, and you can see here where I've come in with more than one wire. I actually have two wires coming in, and one wire is going common and 12, and the other wire is going common and 13. And this is a multi-tap commercial transformer for really large installations, or where your wire run is very, very long. And like I said a minute ago, we'll get into that. That's it in a nutshell. This is how the wires land. And again, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a professional on site. It makes things go so much faster and easier for you. It's worth a consideration, but it's not hard to do it either. And it's 12 volts coming out, and you're not going to hurt yourself with these. And if you do cross the wires out in the field, you know, the ends or whatever, you're going to get a dead short. You're going to have to reset your transformers. And there's a reset here and a reset down here on the bigger ones. The little ones reset automatically once they're unplugged. So thanks for watching this segment, and we're going to go right into the next one. What to do if none of your outdoor landscape lights are working. If some of your lights are working, this section does not address that, but you may want to watch anyway. In this section, we're only going to address the transformer and feed wire. I am doing this because people assume their transformer is no longer working, and often they buy a new transformer only to find out there was nothing wrong with their original transformer. How frustrating that is. So I want to go through a systematic approach to find the truth about your transformer and your feed wire run. First, take something and plug it in where the transformer is plugged in to ensure your receptacle on your house is working. I used a small fan that I had in the garage. I know it works, so I'm going to use it. Just plug it in and see if there really is power coming to the plug where you have your transformer plugged in. Some transformers with a digital display will be on, so you can skip this step, but an analog unit, you will not see any light showing it is on. We've been working with our suppliers, however, to add this feature. Second, remove the feed wire from your transformer. This is important. You must do this. Then, turn the transformer on. Make sure the photocell is covered or removed. Make sure the timer, if it is analog, is set to allow the transformer to be on. If it is digital, make sure it is set to on or the dial is set to test. Step 3. Does your transformer make a humming sound? Good. But not all of them do. Take your voltage meter and test the transformer at the output, where you remove the feed wires. We showed you how to use the meter in section 2 of this video. Here's the timestamp in case you want to go back to that part and review it. Is your transformer putting out voltage? If it is, this is very good. If you test it and it is not putting out power, then it may need to be replaced. Now that we know the transformer is working and good, turn the transformer off. Reattach the feed wire, then go to the very end of the feed wire. It should have tape on it or wire nuts or something so it does not short out. Remove whatever is protecting it. Then separate it so it does not short out. Strip the wires some for testing. Then turn on your transformer and put your meter on the very end. Make sure it is a voltage meter set to AC to test the feed line. We have a video on the multimeter and how to use it. See the instructions in section 2 of this video. If you find now that you have power at the end of the feed run, we know two things. We know number one, your transformer is good, and number two, your feed line is good all the way to the end. So now the problem could be the connection to the light fixtures, the bulbs in the fixtures if your fixtures use bulbs, or if your fixtures have an LED built in, it could be the fixture itself. Further testing needs to be done to help narrow that down. Section 6, our last section in this video, how and when to use the 15-volt tap or a multi-tap transformer. Here are examples of a dual tap and multi-tap transformer. As you can see, they are more robust in construction, and the size of the bus bars where the wires terminate are much larger for multiple runs. We have other videos that go into detail on these transformers, so I'm not going to repeat it here. There are all kinds of posts out there, as well as charts on multi-tap and dual-tap transformers. The problem is, most of the information on the web was made for halogen lamps, and they were made using mathematical formulas, not real-life tests. On a side note, we made a real-life video a few years ago for LED, and are in process of making a new one now. If you subscribe to our channel, you will get it as soon as it is finished. In the old days, a fixture like this one would utilize a 20-watt halogen or incandescent light bulb. So, on a 100-watt transformer, you could only put on 5 light fixtures. Now, thanks to the LED bulb at 3 watts, you can get better lighting and put 33 fixtures on the same 100-watt transformer. Things have really changed. The dual-tap transformers, as well as the commercial multi-tap transformers, are made for our commercial customers and large projects, or projects with very, very long runs. You can up the voltage on the feed wire by attaching it to the alternate voltage in this type of transformer. However, avoid overvoltage at the first fixture from exceeding 12.5 volts. As an example, if you have a very long run, you may want to break it up into 2 runs, a short one and a long one. The short one at about 100 feet, and then a long one going out from there. At the short run, tap it to 12 volts. And then at the longer run, tap it at a higher voltage. But on the longer run, start the first light fixture about 100 feet out. Always making sure the first fixture is not over 12.5 volts. Here's a little diagram that shows what I mean. Thanks for watching this very long video. We could not put everything we wanted to in this video, or it would be 4 hours long. If you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to share helpful comments that may help others doing similar projects. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions on our products, please feel free to ask. Make sure you send your email directly to us at support@totallightingsupply.com. We answer product questions all day long, Monday through Friday. If you ask questions on YouTube, it may be some time before we see them. Our videos are designed as an overview of our products, and we recommend hiring a qualified electrician for your project to ensure a safe installation. And as always, see the description for links to our website, products, and videos, as well as important updates and detailed product information. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Have a great day.